Hi guys, so we're going to do a bit of an update on the onions today, and then we're also going to pot some on. If yours are doing well in the pot that they're already in, then you don't necessarily need to pot them on. But if they're struggling a little bit, if they're going yellow or they're looking a little bit unhealthy, then potting them on will help. It will also help to get you bigger onions. So if you're not worried about having really big onions, then leave them as they are, that's fine. The onions that we've done so far aren't looking very good at all. So these are the ones that we multi-sowed into the soil box, and although they don't look too bad, they are yellowing, which is not really what we want. These were the ones that we sowed in strips, so I had no germination, just one germination on this one, and then we had a very low germination rate of these two. These ones being new seeds, so you'd expect them to germinate quite well. If you look inside, you can see little straggly lines, and I'm not worried about that. That is the seed leaves that are dying back, so that's normal. It is more to do with the colouring and the fact that they haven't thrived in here, and the fact that there isn't very many, that's making me concerned about these. And then these are the ones that we sowed in one pot, which are the Red Baron, which don't look too bad, and they've got a better colour to them, but it's definitely left me wondering what it is that's caused them to look like this. And then the next ones that I sowed afterwards were some newer varieties, and interestingly, two of the newer varieties haven't done very well at all, and they're not going to get used. And then the central one, which is density 4, they still don't look very healthy, and they look really scraggly, but I will be potting them on and we'll see how they go. It might be that they'll bounce back. I have got some other seeds that the company have sent me to grow as well, just to see if it is to do with the seeds, but it makes me wonder what the variable is that's different than what usually happens, and I'll put a picture up of what mine normally look like at this stage, because it's nothing like this. Hopefully yours aren't looking like this, but it's made me wonder, so is it the compost, for example? I'm using the same one as I normally do, which is a company called Manor Farm, which are based in Glastonbury, and then I use their peat-free version. And these leeks, as you can see, are in the same compost, and they're looking absolutely fine. They were sowed a little bit later, so I'll keep an eye on them, so it might be that actually they're going to run out of nutrients and they're going to do the same, but so far they look fantastic. So that makes me think that maybe it's not just the compost. So the next question is whether or not it could be to do with the weather. And although it's been quite warm, it's really very dark here still. It's been dull, dreary days in Shropshire. I don't know whether that's the same all around the country. And it's just all the seedlings in the house are struggling in the windowsill. I'm having to make sure they're under lights. And I do wonder if that's part of what's happened here. But it'll be interesting as we go along through the grow along and see what happens. I'll also put up a plug of what my autumn sown ones look like, because they were doing fantastically and they would have had lower light levels. So it has got me a little bit baffled. They are seeds from a seed company that I have used for a long time, and they're absolutely fantastic usually. This is the germination from more onion seeds that I've put in. So far they're looking absolutely fantastic. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have more than 10. So I'm going to pop these on into these trays, which are a little bit deeper than some of the other ones that I normally use. They may need potting on again, we'll see how they go, and it depends on the weather as well. So we're going to use a different peat-free compost. This has got much larger pieces of sticks than the one that I normally use. We're just going to pick any of those out as we go. And then all we're going to do is, using a pokey tool, as we have done before, we're just going to poke some holes in. And then we're going to very carefully prick them out. You will usually see that there's some roots popping out the bottom, not a huge amount because there's not a huge amount in here, but they will usually have quite long roots. So we're just going to very gently lift it. And there we go, that's what that one looks like. That's the only expedition onion that has grown. So what we want to do is make sure that these roots are posted to the bottom of the hole, but that the onion itself is not too deep. If we bury it too deep, it's going to cause it issues with bulbing up. Just bringing you close for a minute just so you can see a bit better what I'm doing. First of all, digging under each of those onions and then carefully making sure not to pull those roots out or break them. And then all we're doing is very gently popping the roots into the hole, but not burying them deep. You can see on this one, this part here is dying back, and that is just part of the seed leaves, so that's nothing to be concerned about. If yours are doing that, then please don't be worried. A quick way to separate your seedlings is just to gently drop them. This will loosen the compost. Another option is to swish them in some water. The remaining onions I'm just popping into some soil blocks. Our next expected update will be planting these into the garden.